Hi, my friends. It's Amber. Yay! Yes, I'm going to give myself a yay and jazz hands every time I say my name. That's just how it's going to be from now on. So, I would love to play with you today on the power of our attention, the power of our intention. Not so much intention, I think we're going to focus on attention because your attention, it can move mountains, it can work marvels. Your attention is miraculous. Where we put our attention is where we put our energy, and your energy can create worlds because you are your own divine spark of source having an experience in a human body, and so you can do pretty much whatever you want to do with it. It's just about focusing our attention. And this is something that most humans, are myself very much included, are kind of bad at. Because we can get sidetracked by things we think we're supposed to do, by ways we think we're supposed to be productive. We can get sidetracked by other people's thoughts and worries and fears. We can get sidetracked by our own thoughts and worries and fears. And essentially what we want to do is keep focusing on what feels good, keep focusing on the thing we actually want. Because of course, the universe is completely non-judgmental. It doesn't, it listens to where you're putting your attention and your energy. So if you're putting your attention and your energy on something you're worried about, the universe is like, hey, that's what they like. Let's give them more. And we're like, no, we don't want that. And the universe is like, oh, you're so focused on that? Here, we'll give you more, which is really annoying, as I'm sure you know. So what we really want to do is keep putting our attention and intention and focus on energy on the things we actually want. And so the way that we do that, and I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this, and even if I was, I feel like sometimes experts, they talk about it in ways that work for them, and often those ways can have something really powerful for us as well, but we kind of all have to figure out how this feels and how we do it ourselves individually, because it's a very experiential thing. So I'll talk about it the way that I play with it, the way that I understand it, and you get to take whatever nuggets from this feel good to you, and how you feel about it is how it is. So take what feels good and just leave the rest. I don't know what that was, but I kind of like the noise. I'm probably going to make it again, and it's probably going to annoy a lot of people very much, and that's okay. So, okay, so focusing your attention. So let's first talk about a few ways to step out of worry, to step out of the cycle that we don't enjoy, the cycle that is not serving us very well. And we know that it's not serving us very well because we feel like crap. I have been in that place many, 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 many times. And so I could say I'm a bit of an expert at that particular state. So here are a few ways that really feel beautiful to me. And if they work for you, that would make me so happy. So one of the ways to kind of redirect myself out of a cycle of worry or just, the complete downward spiral is to take all of my thoughts and sort of feel them as energy. Don't think about the thoughts because that's just going to make them worse. But sort of feel the thoughts as like swirling energy in your brain, and then redirect that energy out of your brain and into your heart. Because your heart it's a powerful portal. It's deeply transformative. We can drop all sorts of fears, worries, thoughts into that like deep sacred well of our heart, and our heart will drown it for us. Our heart will transform what we don't need and hold for us what we do need, and then it'll offer what we do need in a way that feels good to us, in a way that we can work with. So that's one of the first and best ways, for me at least, that I can redirect myself. So you can always just do that. And that, another thing to do is just command yourself to quiet your brain. Like sometimes I'll just tell my brain like, okay, it's time to be quiet. It's time to take a nap. And my brain will listen, and it will quiet for a few moments, because when we're in that cycle of just thinking over and over about the things we don't want, worrying about things, hoping they'll get better, yearning for them to get better, we're we're just making a big old energetic mess for ourselves. And so the best thing to do is just like just stop that kind of backwards momentum and allow ourselves to quiet, and the beauty of it is, even though perhaps nothing has changed outwardly in that moment, we've found peace, we've found quiet. And that's, in some ways, that's the end game right there. And you can do that in a hot second just by, okay, quiet brain, quiet. And then just revel in the quiet for a moment. So that is another way that I really love. And then, of course, it's the idea of doing what I call whatever makes your soul heave a sigh of relief. So, I'll sort of think about activities that will kind of pull me out of my head, pull me out of that worry cycle, that worry space, and help me feel better, help me get into my body. That could be taking a walk through some trees, or going to the beach, if you're lucky enough to live near a beach, or going near any body of water. Water can be so calming and so good for the soul. It could be dancing around the living room, turning on your favorite song and dancing. It could be taking a nap. It can be writing in your journal. It can be coloring in a coloring book. It can be anything that making a pot of soup, anything that makes you feel better, that kind of shifts your energy, shifts you out of that space of just making it worse for yourself. And we all do it. I mean, I'm not going to say all of us. I know there are some people who are very good at not doing that, but I think we all do it. We're all human. So it's okay. It's perfect. It's beautiful. But the more we learn to kind of like refocus and readjust, and naps are the best way to do that. Also Netflix, watching something that brings delight to your soul it's gonna put a hard stop on that worry cycle. And so like I'll watch some Queer Eye or Ratatouille, or, any of my favorite kind of this makes me feel good movies, and that will reset me. And then once we've reset, once we've halted the backwards momentum, halted whatever feels gross, feels terrible, we've stopped getting in our own way, then, you can either just hang out in that place of peace, in that place of, hey, I feel great, I'm good, or we can refocus on what it is we're looking to create next, refocus on what we're desiring next, refocus on what we need next. And so some of the really beautiful ways to do that are to take a moment and just imagine that someone has shown up at your door and is handing you the thing. Great, cool. How do I feel now that I have this thing? What does it feel like to have this? And it's hard to go from worry spiral straight into person handing you the thing. Like, we usually need that intermediary step of, okay, I'm going to slow my roll. I'm going to calm myself down. I'm going to, take that nap, dance around the living room, watch that movie, and to kind of stop that backwards momentum. And then when we're at that kind of neutral space, that space of peace, then we can kind of feel into like, all right, so say somebody has just handed me the thing that I want. How do I feel? And then just bask in those feelings for a while. Bask in feeling that you already have that thing for 30 seconds. And just be there. It's great. It feels really good. One of the ways, I actually did this a couple days ago and it felt great. It set the tone for my whole day, and my day was really lovely. So, one of the things that I really desire in life is the ability to just make whatever I want to make, create whatever I want to create in terms of like videos like this, or blog posts, or writing books, or speaking to groups of people, or channeling for groups of people, without having to worry about like money, or feel like, oh God, I need to get a job if I don't make this amount of money by this time. And so and because I tend to enjoy archangels, I think they are fun. I woke up in the morning and I imagined Archangel Michael in like a business banker's suit knocking on my door and handing me a check for like, what was it? Like $10 million. Um, and be like, all right, here you go, have fun. I was like, ooh, cool. So of course, because I'm actually a fairly practical person, all, you know, evidence to the contrary, I was like, okay, well, if I put that in the bank, the rate of interest would be this, so I would be receiving this much interest per year. Oh, I could totally live on that. Oh my goodness, yes. So what would I do? I'd schedule a dentist appointment for myself. And so I kind of like went through that, which was kind of ridiculous. I don't know that I encourage that unless you really like knowing that the details of your life are taken care of, which I actually kind of do. Anyway, my point is, I imagined Archangel Michael giving me enough money so that conceivably I could just have all my time, all of my creative time, and be able to create things that I love to create things that feel like it's me bringing my heart forward into the world and sharing it in a way that feels good to me and hopefully is useful for other people. And so I just kind of basked in that. I was like, okay, what would I do? Ooh, I'd go to Italy and I'd make a lot of Instagram stories and I'd blog about the food I ate, and I'd have somebody who's good at taking pictures take pictures for me, and then I'd write about my adventures and I'd start working on this book. And I just basked, my point is, I just basked in the feelings of like, okay, this is what it would feel like to have, and it wasn't really so much about the money for me, although there were a couple pairs of shoes that I wanted to buy. It was more about just the freedom that like, okay, I can do whatever I want. I do what I want. And it felt great and it felt really fun. And I got to bask in that for a while. And that really set up my energy for the day in a really lovely way. And it actually set up the energy for my week in a really lovely way as well. And that's what we're doing. We are putting our focus, our attention, our intention, our energy on what we desire. And beyond that, knowing that we don't need what we desire to feel the way we want to feel. We can feel the way we want to feel right now. And you can use that crazy powerful imagination that you have to help yourself get there. So I hope that was helpful. I hope it gave you a nugget of something that will serve you well. And if you listen to this video and get to bask in some fun feelings or create something amazing, I would love to hear about it. Feel free to reach out to me. You can find me at amberadrian.com, and there's like a little contact thing if you really want to let me know, or leave a comment in this video. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you again soon.